Hey everybody, it's Chase with AV Pop Culture again, and today we are continuing our spooky season focused content with a little something different. I'm going to rank everything that I watched in the month of August, including a lot of horror movies. So pop that tape in. I got you. Let's go do this. All right. So just there'll be a few things in here that aren't necessarily spooky season related, but I did watch a lot of horror and some pretty interesting thrillers and things like that in the month of August. And I watched most everything on physical media, and I have it here, but there are a few things that I did stream. Yes, I do try before I buy. I have Amazon Prime because of shipping and everything, and I have Tubi because it's free. But with my Amazon Prime, with the deal I have, because I have an IMDb account for my movie career, I have AMC Plus and Shutter for free. So I can watch some stuff on there. It's crap quality and it's clunky to use, but I did watch a few things. We're going to talk about those in here too. I do have everything ranked. I have me a list here somewhere. And I think I have it in order. But let's go ahead and start with the bottom, which is going to be controversial, though maybe not if you saw my 4K review. And coming in down here, I believe, I want to say at number 16, I think I watched 16 movies this month, I gotta say it's You're Next. While I love Second Sight, and this is a great release here, love me a good chunky box, a good limited edition release. Everything about it's got lots of extras. The movie it's not for me. It's not my type of movie. I kind of saw the twist coming. I think it doesn't have a lot of rewatchability because it relies on that twist. And once you know it, that's it. I think this 4K is as good as it could possibly be. But I went into it in my 4K review. I don't think it's one that shows off the color range of your 4K and any kind of dynamics like that, because the color palette and just the way things were. I even showed how I colored some of my movies, that kind of same vibe back then. But just not for me. It is one that I'm proud to keep in my Second Sight collection. However, but it does come in at the bottom of my list this month at number 16. All right, coming in at number 15 is a just this one's cheese, and I know the story behind this. It's fun to watch, but it's not a very good movie. I'm talking about Nightmare Sisters from Vinegar Syndrome. This stars Linnea Quigley, and this is, I think they tell the story. The director tells the story at the beginning of this. They basically challenged themselves to shoot a movie in a weekend with leftover film that was laying around. So they had like ends and pieces, and they used different film stock, and they just tried to come up with something they could shoot in one location. And like Roger Corman style, it needed some kills, it needed nudity, and it has a lot of it in there. And y'all, that's a real thing. My man Daniel over at the Cobwebs channel, I sent him a copy of a couple of my movies, and he reviewed Creature Feature. And he had fun with it. It's an anthology that, Ain't It Cool News, Dread Central, all of them compared to like Creep Show and stuff like that. And that's because we definitely tipped our cap to those with the stories and spent a lot of time on the monsters. But when we went into distribution on the thing, and it's a low budget film, they gave us a very Roger Corman speech. We had to go back and add nudity to it. We had to add the sex appeal to it. That's exactly what they did here, and it is an absolute crazy movie. It's not a good movie, but it's one of those that's so bad it's fun and enjoyable. It comes in at number 15 on my list. At number 14, I think I got the numbers right here, is something that's not horror. It is The Fall Guy. Now, this 4K looks really good. It should look good. If it's shot in digital, like you guys know how I feel about that. If a movie's shot in digital, the 4K should be a no-brainer. It should always look good. So I don't put a lot of stock in what if a 4K looks that great, unless I'm talking about great-looking digital shot 4Ks. I enjoyed this movie. I wanted to like this movie even better. I was a big fan as a kid of the original Fall Guy TV show that starred Lee Majors, and like a huge fan of the theme song, "The Unknown Stuntman." Do yourself a favor. The Blake Shelton version that they redid for this tells you all you need to know about where they kind of go wrong with the movie. It's like you got to pick a couple things that you're going to be. You can't be a rom-com. You can't be a rom-com and a action movie and a stunt like action movie and a meta like Hollywood movie. You got to pick a couple of things and go with them. And they tried to do too many things, and it bloats the runtime. And it starts much closer to the show in a vibe, so I had a lot of hope, but it gets way off of it. It gets way off of it. I'm a big fan of Ryan Gosling, though. I think he's a good actor. I do like Ryan Gosling. I think if I put this on my community tab, I would have cast, if you go back and look at like Lee Majors in the show, he was a more rugged, like manly man. Somebody that you would more believe looks like a stunt man. And the vibe was different, and he still got his old like Silverado pickup truck and everything, but it totally does not fit his vibe whatsoever. He's more like surfer dude, pretty dude. It doesn't work. I would have cast somebody like maybe Cole Hauser, who plays Rip Wheeler on Yellowstone. Somebody like that. Somebody that you could believable, that could be, rugged and tough too. I really think that would have been a good give and take with Emily Blunt. And but I mean, I still enjoyed the movie. I'm glad that I have it. The theme song Blake Shelton puts in, like I think the original song goes, I'm the unknown stunt man who makes Eastwood such a star, something like that. He changes the word that he's the unknown stunt man that would die to win your heart. And it's like, yeah, that tells you all you need to know. You're trying to go too rom-com-y with it, and it's too mixed for what audience it's targeting. But I still did have fun with it. Just I wanted so much more from it. But very cool steelbook here. Comes in at number 14, I think. All right, coming up, I got a couple here that are basically splitting hairs between the two of them. So we'll go 13 and 12 with Nightmare Cinema and Body Bags, a couple of anthologies. You got John Carpenter leading the way over here. Over here, you've got like Joe Dante and Mick Garris. I probably give the edge. I don't know. I kind of go back and forth. I think like I have to take my thoughts about setting it in a movie theater out of it, because that draws me to Nightmare Cinema. I think maybe the stories in here are better, but I mean they're Stacy Keach in this is really good in his story, but I don't, and Joe Dante's way to egress story in Nightmare Cinema about plastic surgery and gone wrong. It's like horrifying and terrifying. It's also a complete ripoff of a Twilight Zone episode called In the Eye of the Beholder. And I don't know. So I really enjoy that because I'm a big Twilight Zone fan. I like both of these. I like horror anthologies. Even if people consider a bad anthology, I just generally like them. So I had fun with both of these this month. I have seen these before. That's something else I should probably mention. There are several things on here that are like all-time favorites that I have seen before. I just happened to watch them again this month or something on 4K. So keep that in mind. But at 13 and 12, we got Nightmare Cinema and Body Bags. All right. Coming up next is another one I did a 4K review on, and I actually found that I didn't like this movie as much on the rewatch. Like, I haven't rewatched it in a long time, and I do like the movie, so it's not that I don't like this movie. I just enjoy. I used to like it more than I do now for whatever reason. A lot of movies go the other way, but Desperado, I picked up from Arrow, and I really do like this movie. But I feel like I used to be way more into it. Like back, I guess coming off of, like around, I don't know, like there used to be a time where like Robert Rodriguez to me was like more. So anything he did, because I was an indie filmmaker with low budgets and everything, and like he's kicking out From Dusk Till Dawn and Desperado and The Faculty and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, I guess I was just more into it then. And so I feel like I remembered it being way better than when I watched it this time. I mean, I still like the movie. It's just I used to be like super into it a whole lot more, and not as much now. And I think the 4K is pristine. The picture is pristine. But if you check out my 4K review, the color palette that's chosen, while the color palette that is chosen looks outstanding, and it captures Robert Rodriguez's vision for a sun-drenched, yellowed out, dusty kind of color palette, adobo, like browns, yellows, that kind of dusty palette with almost like a haze over it. While that shines through beautifully, it's not going to show off your 4K system. It's not going to. Like I did a side by side comparison of where I did just a standard rec 709 color correction on some clips from just where I filmed my TV playing. So the quality shit, but you see how much more rich detail and stuff it can get. But that's the change in the color palette. So I think some people got confused me saying that that the 4K wasn't good. I'm not saying that. The 4K is outstanding. And the color palette that was chosen shows up amazingly. It's just that particular color palette is not going to be the best to demo and show off everything a 4K can do, because there's just not that much of a high dynamic range within the colors, within the darks and the lights, and the color gamut. So, but I mean, the movie I still enjoy the movie. I forgot how much I love Steve Buscemi at the beginning, setting up the legend of Antonio Banderas, and I really do enjoy the film. But it does come in at number 10 on my list this month. At number 9 on my list is one I had not seen in forever. I picked up the Blu-ray, and then an awesome channel subscriber sent me a handmade slipcover for Frankenhooker. Frank Henenlotter, Frankenhooker. Absolutely ridiculous ass movie. It's just one of those, to me, that's so bad it's good, and you got to have the right headspace for it. Joe Bob Briggs, best of 90s Joe Bob, giving it 4 stars. Joe Bob, I found out, was instrumental in helping like Basket Case get a wide release and helping Frank Henenlotter get started. Frankenhooker is absolutely crazy. The guy, if you don't know the story, the guy's girlfriend dies in a freak accident, and he puts her back together with parts from different hookers, and it does not end well, let's just say. But it is absolutely crazy along the way, and I love this slip that I was given here. But it is, I mean, it's definitely one I've seen many times before, but I hadn't seen it in a long time, and I watched it this month, and I got a new slip. It comes in at number 9. The next one up is one that I've seen a ton of times too. When I was younger, I was very close in age to my aunt and uncle. My mom is only like 17 years older than me, and I was very close in age to my aunt and uncle. My aunt's only like 7 years older than me, and my uncle's like 9 years older than me. and my uncle's a singer. He did music for Dark Roads, my movie, and him and my aunt played this movie relentlessly, and I like rent it constantly, man, when you could get the VHS. I am talking about Purple Rain. Um, Now, I got GA Turks to thank for this, getting telling me to subscriber, telling me I got to review this. I will get to a review. It may now this have to wait till after spooky season, because it doesn't really fit in with that. But I always enjoy the movie. The 4K looks great. What can you say? It's Prince, Purple Rain, and then the music gets stuck in my head. But it comes in this month at number 8. Number 7 is one that I had never seen before, and everybody's like, "How could you have never seen this before? You got to get this on the Criterion Collection." And I was like, I'm gonna have to wait till another sale. I can't buy anything right now. I'm kind of in a buying freeze. And my man, awesome channel subscriber, and my first channel member, Tyler P, he sent me a copy of the Criterion 4K of David Lynch's Blue Velvet. And when people said you got to be in the right, I'd never seen any David Lynch movie. Not this, not Mulholland Drive, no David Lynch movies. And when people said you got to be in the right space to watch a David Lynch movie, they are not kidding, man. It is a wild trip of a movie that I have watched now at least twice, and I started and I kind of went back through it another time, and it's another one I got to get to a 4K review on, and it may have to wait now too because I just got backed up into spooky season. But man, this movie's a trip. Dennis Hopper is crazy in this, and his playing his song over and over and over again. Was it Candy Colored Clown? I can't remember the title of the song, but I can hear the damn song again and again in my head. But like from the first opening of this, like the camera shot going down into the dirt with the bugs, and how it in the shot at the end, I knew what I was in for immediately there. It is a trip. I definitely have a lot of thoughts on it. It's crazy, man. I'm not sure David Lynch knows what the hell he's doing. I think he's just like, let's do some weird shit, man, and let's make some weird shit. I really do. I think in the moment he's like, well, it'd be cool and crazy if they did this. Hey, y'all do this. I think that's how he films scenes. I think he starts with some sort of script, and then in the moment he's like, hey, let's do this shit, because that's what it feels like. But Blue Velvet, definitely a trip. Very glad to own this, and looking forward to also seeing Mulholland Drive and everything. Appreciate that, Tyler. Comes in at number 7. Number 6 is one I had not seen in forever, and I don't have it on physical media. And I almost bought the Blu-ray curse on this, and then just a couple of days ago, I saw that Kino is releasing a 4K of Christopher Lee and Scars of Dracula. And I hadn't seen that movie in forever, man. And I'm trying to get back and trying to watch Hammer horror films again and stuff like that. And I actually started watching The Devil Rides Out last night and fell asleep watching that and had the most trippy nightmares ever, which to me is free entertainment. And that was a Daniel at Cobwebs recommendation there too. And I hadn't seen that, but I'm trying to get back into Hammer horror, and I had seen Scars of Dracula several times before, but I forgot. And I know it's not even considered one of the better ones by a lot of people, but I had fun watching it. So, sometimes like you get in like to a vibe spot where you want to kind of like watch all of a particular movie genre, an actor, whatever, and you kind of just get on a kick, I call it. And like now I kind of want to watch some more Hammer films. And Scars of Dracula I streamed and enjoyed it. I've actually now streamed it twice, and I've streamed it again this month now, so I'm not going to count it again if I do this next month. But Scars of Dracula comes in at number 6. All right, coming in at number 5 is another vampire movie I had not seen in a long time, and I guess we're never getting a 4K of it, so I went ahead and I got the Blu-ray at a really good price because I didn't have this anymore. I used to have this on VHS, and it was a really cool looking VHS. But I'm talking about Innocent Blood. Now, this is the John Landis film with Robert Loggia and Anthony LaPaglia, and I cannot pronounce the lead actress's name. I can't do it. Not gonna try. Forgive me. But I really like this, and I forgot how much I liked this movie. So you've got her, and she is a vampire who will only kill bad guys. She will only live off innocent blood. That is her, or she won't take innocent blood. That's her motto. She won't do it. And she is in the process of feeding on this evil crime boss, played by Robert Loggia. And she's in the process of like feeding on him, and she gets interrupted. So he becomes a vampire, and now he's turning all of his bad guy goons into vampires. So she has to team up with Anthony LaPaglia, who's a cop who had been undercover with these guys. She has to team up with him to try to stop them. And of course, they fall in love, and she's very sexual as a vampire. She's a beautiful woman, and they show that off definitely. But it's a good movie. It's like a crime. It's like an organized crime, like a mob movie meets a vampire movie. I really like it. Innocent Blood, I hadn't seen it in a while. Comes in at number 5. Now, number 4 is one I've seen more times than I can count, but I did just now get the 4K from an awesome subscriber who has a channel, Jerry over at Screaming Geek Media, sent me Evil Dead on 4K. He also sent me Evil Dead 2, but I hadn't watched that yet in August, so it doesn't count. But I did watch Evil Dead, and man, this 4K is awesome. What can you say about Evil Dead? I friggin' love the character of Ash. I want to get the TV show now too. I mean, I don't know. Always, like I said, this is one of those movies when I was a kid and it came out, it scared me when I saw it. And then later I realized this, especially part 2 and Army of Darkness, they're so funny and they're so much fun. But the 4K on this is just damn beautiful. It is a hell of a 4K. And Bruce Campbell, what can you say? Hail to the king, baby. Evil Dead comes in at number 4. And number 3 is one that I just saw for the first time ever. And I streamed it first, and I loved it so much, I had to buy it immediately. I got on and ordered it from Orbit. This was a recommendation also from Daniel at Cobwebs. This, if you like Paranormal Activity, if you like the original one that came out, if you like Blair Witch, which to me, Blair Witch was never scary, and I didn't like it as much. Paranormal Activity was kind of scary to me, but nothing compared, like this movie is Ghostwatch. Shit, man. This movie's scary. Like, but I think you can't be a surface level. I don't mean this like in an insulting manner, but you can't be a surface level horror watcher and find it scary. Like, if you're the person that watches horror and in order to be like frightened, or in order to like get into it, you need a lot of obvious like demons jumping out at you, jump scares, lots of gore, lots of, you need Pinhead, you need Freddy Krueger. Then you're not going to get as much out of it. You're not. But if you're someone who like thinks more deeply into things and likes atmosphere and things to settle over you, and you let your mind wander and you start thinking about how some of that stuff might be possible or how realistic that is, or, things like that, or how like that might be more how stuff really happens if supernatural stuff is happening. Then this is more of a movie for you because it adds such a degree of realism to a haunted house story that I mean, this was like banned in the UK because it was causing people to freak out and be so scared. And I mean, because I have personal experience with stuff, and because I overanalyze things to death. I go so deep in my mind and my imagination with stuff. This thing scared me. I had to pause for a few minutes and like take a breath because like my heart rate was jacked. So Ghostwatch, it did it for me. I immediately bought it. I don't get scared from movies very much, so when something triggers me a little bit, it excites me. So Ghostwatch comes in at number 3. Number 2 is one. It's not horror. I've seen it literally, like when I say more times than I can count, like if I could even count the amount of times I saw Evil Dead, you could probably multiply it, how many times I've seen this. But I did this as a first watch. My son's a football player. He's 13 years old. We just watched this right at the end of August before his first football game of the season. And I am talking about Varsity Blues. I mean, it's a classic football movie. This came out like the year after I graduated high school, I think. And so I was like right at that perfect age for it to come out. And now my son just got to be a teenager. He's 13. And, he got introduced the first time to Allie Larder in her whipped cream bikini, which he didn't hate at all. And then, of course, he loves, Billy Bob and the characters in this movie. And he's got coaches he's got a coach or two that is close to Bud Kilmer in this movie, and you just have to overlook it and learn and move on. But had a lot of fun watching this movie. He and I are going to watch Friday Night Lights up next when I get the 4K and introducing him to those movies. So we had a lot of fun. It ranks a little extra high because introducing that and sharing it with him and passing that on is awesome. So Varsity Blues comes in. There goes my hero at number 2. And number 1 on my list, I have raved about this movie and its 4K in several videos, so I'm not going to talk about it long, but it is just one that dumbfounds me on how beautiful it was shot. And it is a classic horror film, my favorite Italian horror film. I'm talking about Demons again. And there's nothing else I can say about this that I haven't seen. So you guys can check out other videos. I did a 4K review on this. I've talked about it in a couple other videos. Because as a filmmaker, not just a fan, but as a filmmaker, this movie leaves me speechless. How good it looks in the movie theater. You should not be able to do what they did with the budget that they had and 40 years ago to get the colors, the vibrant colors and skin tones and the lighting on the people in this movie theater and still have it be dark and have depth behind them and have a flicker of a movie from a screen on them. I'm telling you, you have no idea how hard that is. So from a cinematography standpoint, I'm in love with the movie. I have a lot of history. I've told the story about the nightmare I had as a kid that involved this movie and Robert Stack from Unsolved Mysteries narrating it. Crazy story. So I have a lot of kinship with this movie. Like I said, it's my favorite Italian horror movie. I've got to get part 2. I don't have part 2. I got to get part 2. I can't wait to rewatch part 2. Takes it into TV, an apartment building, all that. I haven't seen it in a long time. But the more I watch Demons, the more I friggin' dig it again. And I just want to dissect it and learn everything I can from it and enjoy it at the same time. I think I watched it 3 or 4 times this month, at least. Or in the month of August that just ended. And it comes in at number 1 for the month. Oh, there is one other bonus one in here. Totally forgot. And I don't want to forget because it was my first time ever watching. And I think I think that's why I got off on my numbers a little bit. Because I think I have it around in the middle of the pack here, around 8, 9, 10. And I'm talking about Cemetery Man. I had never seen Cemetery Man. I saw it on the Severin sale. I heard everybody tell me it's such a great 4K. I streamed it. It's weird. I heard a lot of people compare it to Evil Dead, and to an extent, yes. But like the third, like like that last half of the third act goes off the rails. Um, I am torn. I'm going to talk about this movie in another video too, but it is one that I streamed and watched this month, and it was my first ever watch of Cemetery Man, and I enjoyed it a lot to a point, and then it was like, man, you lost me. You lost me. So Cemetery Man's on there. I'm going to talk about it more on another. I'm still intrigued enough to consider getting that 4K, but man, Severin's 4Ks are super expensive. So you know, I'm still thinking about that, but Cemetery Man was trip. I wasn't crazy about the ending. Wasn't crazy about how it loses the plot threads. Sometimes it's actually one that I would like to see an American remake of. Shoot me if you want to. Get mad if you want to. I think an American remake of Cemetery Man, like today, would be badass. But that is now all I watched. So let me know what you watched in August. And what are you? Hey, I got a list coming up. This should come out on Saturday, and on Saturday the 7th, and on Sunday the 8th, I should be coming out with my September warm-up watch list of horror movies and movies that are nice warm-ups to lead into October and the 31 days of horror list that's coming up. So I got my September warm-up list full of stuff that you're not thinking about, so stay tuned for that. If you guys enjoyed all this, and you know all I do here, physical media news, 4K reviews, lists, all kinds of stuff from a fan and filmmaker and collector's perspective, just like you guys. Please like and subscribe. It really does help out the channel. If you want to help support the channel, you can join below at my Patreon or here on YouTube. Couple dollars a month to get your name in lights. You get even more of me with special videos. I'm recording some special members only videos. You can see some of my films, short films, behind the scenes of me making films, all kinds of good stuff. If that's something that you're interested in, you can join down below. But I hope you've enjoyed this. And until next time, you know what it is. Be kind, rewind like always. This is Chase with AV Pop Culture, and I'll see you real soon. Bye-bye. I know.